do we have to do to have a well-formed XML document? We learn something. Yeah. Well-formed XML document.
Document type definition.
Document type definition. Yes. DTD. So when a particular document has a document type definition, it is a well-formed XML document. Okay. Now, if this is the example that has been displayed, if this is my example for XML document, इसका मुझे अभी well-formed बनाना है, so I have to include the DTD for this respective document. So how do we write that DTD? What was the syntax? Anybody could recollect what were the things used? Yes.
Doc type DB
Doc type DB.
and then person and then element.
Okay. So it was something of this kind. Doc type DB. DB is the root element. Every XML document have a root element. So you write the root element. Now within this root element, you will be having your person as one of the element, the first element. Within person, I'll be having my name, age, email. Okay, so data about one person. I want to have 10 more persons. So then again, I will have again open a person tag, name, age, email for the second person. Close the person tag. Similarly, third person, you open the person tag, name, age, email for the third person, and so on till you want to store that record. Okay, so this is how you specify. So DB is my root element, person is the record inside it, and it is asterisk denotes multiple records of person. Okay. Now first element is person, which will hold three tags that the user has defined. So name, age, and email, right? Now again, name is the tag which is PC data. PC is past data. Okay. Characters are past, and sometimes it's only C data, that is only character data. Okay. Similarly, age and email. So this is how you write your doc type definition, document type definition. Okay. Okay. So 10 marks you normally get XML questions. You write what is XML, tell about the tags, tell about the attributes, then what is, give one example for the syntax, how to write, and then what is doc type definition. Okay. So, and one example along with specifying the well formed document. So specify this document type definition. Fine. So that should make up your 10 marks answer.
Ma'am,
Yeah. Yes. Okay. So XML answer that I told you to write. Write about XML, give an example, and also explain about the doc type definition. Okay. Then next. So that is about your XML. Okay. Now coming up to JSON. So JSON full form is JavaScript Object Notation. JSON, or you also call it as JSON, okay, however you pronounce. It is JavaScript Object Notation. Okay. Now again, this is of a similar kind to XML, wherein the client is not interested with the hypertext. The client is more of interested with the data part, the content of the particular information that you're trying to send over the channel from client to the server. Okay, so again over here you're dealing with data and not the markup. Fine. So JSON is one more format. So what is JSON now? JSON stands for JavaScript Object Notation. Okay. JSON is a lightweight data interchange format. Data interchange in a sense, your client is sending a request, server is trying to respond, data is coming in form of a string, and that you can convert it into the content data type, the data you want, okay, the information that you want. JSON is a syntax for storing and exchanging data. JSON is self-describing and easy to understand. Similar to XML, it is easy to understand. JSON is language independent because JSON uses JavaScript syntax, but the format of JSON is only text. Text can be read and used as a data format by any programming language. Okay, so JSON is only basically you get output in form of a text file, text data. Okay, can be read and can be used as a data format. When exchanging data between a browser and a server, the data can only be text. JSON is text, and we can convert any JavaScript object into JSON and send JSON to the server. Can also convert any JSON received from the server into JavaScript objects. Okay, so this is the introduction about JSON. I hope you're able to see the slides. I hope you're able to hear me. Any disturbance in this?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Slides also clear, na?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. now why use JSON? So JSON format is text only. It can easily be sent to and from a server and can be used as a data format for any programming language. So you're only trying to use data over here when you're trying to send information to and from the server. JavaScript has a built-in functions to when in convert a string written in JSON format into native JavaScript objects. So when you learn detail about JavaScript, you will come to know which are the JavaScript objects that are there, inbuilt objects and user-defined objects, and also how to convert a JavaScript built-in function to convert a string into JavaScript objects. So we have this JSON.parse command, okay, to convert. So if the received data from a server in JSON format, use it like any other JavaScript object. So making use of the JSON.parse. Now syntax rules for JSON. So JSON syntax is a subset of the JavaScript syntax. JSON syntax is derived from JavaScript object notation. So data is in name value pair. Okay, you represent data in form of name and value. You give a name and specify the value. Okay, suppose I have phone number and the value specify the phone number. If I have age, specify the age. Okay, so it is in a name value pair. Data is separated by commas. Okay, data is separated by commas. Curly brackets hold objects. When you're trying to represent objects, you show it in curly brackets. Square brackets hold arrays. Okay, so when you're trying to represent an array, you represent in form of a square brackets. We will see how to represent it. Okay, so what is the syntax rule? JSON is represented in name value pair. Data is separated using commas. Objects represented in form of curly brackets. Arrays represented in form of square brackets. Okay. So JSON data, how to represent this JSON data? So it is in a name value pair, right? So how do you represent that? So can you see this name value pair? Name, colon, and specify the value in double quotes. Okay. So name value pair in double quotes. Fine. So written in name value pair, it requires double quotes. Name value pair consists of a field name followed by colon followed by a value. So this is how you represent the JSON data. Okay, in XML, what we did, we created our tags. So name of the tag and what is the value of the tag we had written inside. Okay, whatever the value is, either a name, either a message, or whatever it is, and close the tag. Okay, so in XML, you had opening of the tag and closing of the tag, and in between, you write the value. So that value is basically the data content, right? Similarly, over here, you have double quotes. You specify the name and its respective value separated by colon. Okay, this is the syntax followed in JSON. Okay. So valid data types in JSON. Okay. So data types that are valid in JSON is a string, a number. A number could be integer or a float. Then we have object, JSON object, an array, a boolean holding true or false value, and a null value. ठीक है. So valid data types in JSON: string, number, object, array, boolean, and null. Invalid data types. So JSON doesn't hold any of these data types, such as a function, date, and undefined. So these are not valid. These are invalid data types in JSON, that is function, date, and undefined. But using some operations, we can represent a date, and we can represent a function, or we can also specify an undefined. Okay, there are certain operations that are permitted in JSON through which you can generate a function, generate a date, and an undefined. Fine, but these are not the valid data types. Okay, so remember, for MCQ sort of questions, valid data types and invalid data types for JSON. ठीक है. So valid कौन सा है? String है, number है, object है, array, boolean, and null. Fine. Now how to represent string in JSON is represented by this. So open curly brackets, name and the value. Okay, representing a string. So when I want to send a string, this is how I represent. Okay. Then numbers, age, and number, integer or floating point. So numbers you do not put in double quotes. Okay, string is in double quotes, but number is not in double quotes. Okay. Then we have JSON objects. Objects represented in curly brackets. Okay. So these are the curly brackets we are talking about this. So name, which holds name, employee is one object which holds name, the value, age, uska value, city, and the value. Which whatever is integer or floats are not double quotes. The rest are in double quotes. Okay, make a note. And this is a curly brackets we are talking about for objects. Okay, so valid data type string, we know how to represent a string, we know how to represent a number and object. Okay, next, arrays. So again, employee is an array holding the values John, Anna, and Peter in double quotes. And the square brackets that we're talking about, arrays are there in square brackets. Are you getting? How was object represented and how are arrays represented? Okay, in objects you had employees and a curly bracket over here and here. In arrays you have uh, square brackets. Fine. Next, boolean. So again, represented in form of a string, and you specify true or false value. Then null. So specify the name and the respective null value. Okay. So this is how you represent the valid data types in JSON. Fine. Now, how to evaluate? So evaluate to JSON JavaScript objects. So the JSON format is almost identical to JavaScript objects. In JavaScript, keys must be string written with double quotes. So similarly in JSON, you write it in double quotes. Okay, strings usually you write it in double quotes. Fine. If it is an integer, you do not write it in double quotes. In JavaScript, keys can be strings, numbers, or identifier names. Fine. So this is how you represent the JavaScript. Right now, you only focus on JSON. Okay. When we go to JavaScript, you will come to know how things are represented in JavaScript. With JavaScript can create an object and assign data to it. Like, for example, in JavaScript, you can declare an object as variable where the object is person and hold the value for that respective object. So it is name, John, age is specified, and city. Okay, and then you can access a JavaScript object like person.name or person in the brackets name. So it will return the name of the person. Okay, it returns John. Okay, this is its JavaScript syntax, how you represent a object in JavaScript. Now, JSON files using .json extension. Save the file using .json extension, or you can also have it as application/json extension. Okay. Now, what is the difference between JSON and XML? Similarities, both are used to define the data content. Okay, so represent the data. So both JSON and XML can be used to receive data from the web server. So following are examples that are defined in XML and JSON. So in XML, this is how you write. You have a root element employees. We are trying to store the value of the first employee. So first employee, we are trying to store what? And first name and last name. Then you close the first employee. I want to store a second record. I open employee again. First name and last name for the second employee. Then again third, first name and last name, holding the values for the third employee. Close, you have fourth, you make a fourth entry, fifth, and so on till you have your data. So this is how you represent XML. Okay, this is one way of representing XML. Now, again JSON, similar data in form of JSON. This is how you represent data in form of JSON. So we have employee holding the array of employees. So information about the employees. So first name and last name. Okay, so you can see the difference between XML and JSON. So XML you have to write a lot, wherein in JSON it is much pretty simpler with few steps, right? So this is only the syntax difference. Okay, syntax difference. Both are used to send or receive data from the server. Fine. So I have specified first name, last name for the second employee, first and last name. Similarly for the third employee, first and last name. Okay. JSON is like XML because both JSON and XML are self-describing. Both JSON and XML are hierarchical values within the values. Both JSON and XML can be passed and used by lots of programming languages. JSON and XML can be fetched with an XML HTTP request. XML HTTP request when it is dealing with asynchronous XML. Okay, AJAX. Fine. So that is a different concept, AJAX thing. Okay. So you get a question for 10 marks on XML. You know how to frame up your answer. Introduction, example, and well-formed document. So document type definition. Okay. Then you know you have 10 marks question on JSON. What you have to write? What is JSON? Syntax of JSON. Data types, valid data types, invalid data types. Give examples for valid data types in JSON. That is your answer. Okay. Then you have a difference between XML and JSON. So you explain the difference, giving one example, how data is represented in XML, how data is represented in JSON, and also specify the similarities. So that should make up your answers. 10 marks each. Okay. So this was about JSON and XML. Now,
Does white space matter in JSON?
sorry,
White space.
white space. Space.
Yes, ma'am. Space.
Space if you give in JSON, It will take that space. Why?
I'm just asking that.
Yeah.
Does it matter?
It will. You can try. You can save the file and see. You can. What you do is you can represent one example in your notepad. You write one example for XML. Save that file using XML and try to open that file in your browser. Okay, and see what is the output. Similarly, you can represent one file using JSON and try to open. Okay. Now JSON is unlike XML because JSON doesn't use end tags. Okay, in XML you have a start tag, you have an end tag. So this is not there in JSON. So it is JSON is shorter to write. Right? We had seen the difference. XML में आपको इतना सारा लिखना पड़ता है, wherein JSON within 3 statements you have specified the array. Right? JSON is quicker to read and write. JSON can use arrays. Fine. The biggest difference is XML has to be passed with an XML parser. JSON can be passed by a standard JavaScript function. Okay, so that is JSON.parse. Fine. So that is all about XML and JSON. So this is one JSON.parse command. So a common use of JSON is to exchange data to and from a web server. So when receiving data from a web server, the data is always a string. So pass the data with JSON.parse and the data becomes a JavaScript object. So one example. So say this is received from a web server. So we have a string received. You have to send this string through a JSON pass. Okay, so we have name, age, and city. Fine. So how to parse it? So we have JavaScript function JSON.parse to convert text into a JavaScript object. So you make use of we declare variable object equals to JSON.parse and specify the string that you have received. Okay, and then try to display onto your browser. Fine. So document, this is to display onto the web page. Okay, document.getElement by ID. Display the name and the age. Fine. So that was all about XML and JSON. So you can frame up your answer using these examples and the introduction that has been specified. Okay, for 10 marks, keep your answers ready. Okay. Next we move on with, so this covers our first module. So we are done with the first module of our syllabus, wherein you had covered about uh, HTTP, HTTPS, TLS, domain name system, working of web browsers, components of web components, and then what did we do? The web server architectures and JSON and XML introduction. Okay. Now there is a lot much into JSON, but then that you don't have it in the syllabus. Okay. So there is stringify operations and there are revivers and so many things in JSON, but that is not there. Fine. So you just frame your answer for 10 marks and keep it ready. Okay. So moving ahead. Moving ahead with the next part. I will upload the PPTs onto the classroom right now onto the classroom. Then I shall upload it onto the ERP, since we have told to upload the study material onto the ERP. So step by step we will do it. But so far I will upload it onto the classroom as soon as I finish with the topics. And also I have told you to submit your first experiment. So right now you all don't submit. We will see when if that could be submitted on the ERP. Okay, then I will tell you when to submit. Okay, so right now you just keep it with yourself. I will let you know. Okay. Now the first module of a syllabus is done. The second module is JavaScript. But before moving ahead with JavaScript, we had the prerequisites of HTML and CSS3. So HTML I did not cover much in detail because most of you all are aware about it. So those who were not aware, in the last time practical session I had given you an introduction about how to work on with HTML, And I have told you it deals with all the various tags that are available. Every tag has a predefined meaning. Okay, so you can refer to that W3 schools and get a list of all the various tags, and you can just apply those tags onto your body section of the HTML file and see the respective output on the web browser. Okay, so you can study that HTML thing. Now CSS, not everybody is very much hands on with CSS, so we will start up with CSS and then we will go ahead with JavaScript. Okay, so that should be comfortable to you all. So now we'll move ahead with CSS. I will give you the introduction part of CSS, and again there is lot more to explore, as I always tell you, under this web development, and there are tons of information available on the net. I will be dealing you with respect to your syllabus. Okay, I'll be telling you, teaching you things with respect to your syllabus, but you yourself can go and explore a lot. Okay, there are so much websites available. Fine. So I'll give you an introduction of CSS. We will go through the CSS. So you all are at least comfortable with CSS part, and then we will move ahead with the second module, that is JavaScript. Okay. So I'll start with the CSS part. Okay. So the CSS thing is visible.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Yes. So CSS is cascading style sheets. Now what you can do with CSS that you cannot do with HTML. Now we know HTML5 gives you so many tags. Okay, every tag has some predefined meaning. पैराग्राफ करना है तो p टैग है, वीडियो डिस्प्ले करना है तो वीडियो टैग है, ऑडियो डिस्प्ले करना है तो ऑडियो टैग है, एंड उनके एट्रीब्यूट्स है which can specify more of it, like you want to change the width and height, you can set that. Okay, देन इमेज करना है तो इमेज टैग है, लिंक्स डालने हैं तो एंकर टैग्स है, लिस्ट डिस्प्ले करना है तो LIOL, all those tags we have. Okay, so it has a predefined meaning. So जितना उसको predefined बोला है उतना ही वो डिस्प्ले करेगा onto your browser. Now what CSS will do for that respective tag, अगर पैराग्राफ बोला है तो you know how paragraph will get displayed. Okay, now उस पैराग्राफ को मुझे थोड़ा बड़ा करना है, उस पैराग्राफ को मुझे थोड़े कलर्स देने हैं, उस पैराग्राफ को मुझे थोड़ा लेफ्ट साइड, राइट साइड, सेंटर, इधर उधर डालना है, तो all this liberty I can get through CSS. Okay, so I can make my HTML tags more presentable with more styles. I can put in styles from my side using the CSS cascading style sheets. Okay, so a tag will have its own meaning and I'm adding more meaning to it. Okay, I'm giving that respective tag more features. Okay, so that liberty I have got through CSS. Okay, so there is so much into CSS. Through CSS I can do animations. Through CSS I can apply a variety of styles of my wish, my choice. Then I can set the data मुझे कहाँ डिस्प्ले करना है. मतलब वेब पेज पे ना ऊपर से कितना जगह छोड़ना चाहिए, फ्रॉम साइडवेज हाउ मच स्पेस आई वांट टू लीव, फ्रॉम बॉटम हाउ मच स्पेस, वेयर आई वांट टू एक्चुअली लोकेट माय डेटा, द प्रॉपर पोजीशनिंग ऑफ दैट डेटा. ओके, आई कैन सेट इट थ्रू CSS. So that is cascading style sheets. ठीक है, so that is one feature that I can use onto my web pages. Okay, so I can put animations, I can put transformations. Okay, thoda motions I can give, like movements, animated things I can do it with the help of CSS. Fine. So CSS, a simple mechanism for controlling the style of the web document without compromising its structure. So you're maintaining the structure of the HTML, but you're applying additional styles onto that HTML document, and then you're trying to see the output. So how is this CSS document going to be like? The way you have written your HTML file, in a similar manner, you're going to write your CSS file. HTML डॉक्यूमेंट है आपका, वर्ड नोटपैड में HTML लिखा है आपने, उसमें खाली एक स्टाइल टैग है, there is one style tag. You specify that style tag, you specify your styles of your choice, and you save that file using .html extension. ओके, सो नोटपैड में मैंने HTML कोड लिखा है मेरा, और मुझे पैराग्राफ को कुछ एडिशनल स्टाइल्स देना है, तो यूजिंग अ स्टाइल टैग आई हैव सेट द स्टाइल फॉर पैराग्राफ टैग एंड आई हैव सेव्ड माय फाइल using .html, and I now open my file onto the web browser. So much you can do, right? So open the web file onto your web browser and see what happens. Okay, so that is something different because we have given a different styles to a particular tag. Okay, so that is CSS. It allows you to separate visual design elements from the contents of the web page, allows for faster download, streamlined site maintenance and global control, and so on. Next. So CSS versus HTML. So what can we do with CSS that we cannot do with HTML? So that is what I told you. HTML will have some predefined things. Usko thoda aur modify. Using CSS you can do it. So you can control the background, set the font size to the size you want it to be set. Because we know H1 के predefined features है, H6 के predefined features है. So उसको अगर मुझे थोड़ा ऊपर नीचे करना है तो I can make use of CSS. Follow the H1 and H6 tags. Highlight words, entire paragraph, headings, anything. Overlap the words, make logo type headers, precise positioning, link style sheets to control the look of the whole website, okay, and so on. ठीक है? Now how to write this CSS file? Now CSS लिखने के लिए उसका एक syntax रहता है. This syntax you have to follow. So syntax is selector, property1 and the value. CSS का syntax क्या है? You specify the selector, that is which tag you're talking about, which tag of HTML, okay, and then property, which property you want to set, and value. ठीक है? So selector is your HTML tag, and HTML tag could be anything, paragraph, any HTML tag you want to set. So paragraph H2 is one example that I've given. Body tag या image tag या table है. ठीक है? Now value is the value that you want to give. Fine. So property could be like the color, the font size, okay, the width, height, and so on. So when you have multiple properties to be set, you write property 1, specify the value, semicolon, property 2, specify the value, and semicolon, property 3, and so on. Okay, but the syntax is selector, property, colon, and the value. Okay. Now, this is the example given. So for paragraph tag, I am saying my font size should be 8 point and the color should be red. So for paragraph tag, I am setting two styles. What are the two styles? Font size is 8 point. So the font size should be of 8 size and color should be red. So for HTML, paragraph has some predefined font size. Okay. So usko chhod ke whatever you are going to specify, say 8 point and color is red, and you see the variation in the output. Okay. So the ID selector. Now under CSS, we have ID selectors and we have class selectors. Okay. So ID selector uses the ID attribute of an HTML element to select a specific element. The ID of an element should be unique within a page. So the ID selector is used to select one unique element. So ID selector you represent using an hash character. The style rule will be applied to HTML element with ID equals to para1, for example. So we will see. Now, example. Example, this is your normal HTML file. This is your normal HTML file. You save that file using .html. Barabar. Now, right now it is only p tag. Forget about this ID. P tag, I am saying hello world. And there is another P tag. This paragraph is not affected by the style. Okay, this is something I want to display. When you run it onto your browser, you get hello world and this paragraph is not affected by style. It's something that you get displayed. Now I want to apply styles. What am I doing? I am saying, now this is hash para1. Instead of this, I can also write P tag, P, text align is center, color is red. Barabar? So wherever I have P tags, wherever I have P, this will, the style applied will be this. Text align should be center and color is red. Now, every tag will have attributes. ID is one of the attribute. ID is some unique name that you specify. No, you have your ID to represent the uniqueness, right? So ID is one attribute. So I'm saying paragraph P ka jo ID hai is para1. And now where am I applying the styles? I'm applying the styles on this para1. Are you getting? So I'm applying the styles on the para1. So wherever ID is para1, this particular styles will get reflected. Right? Now over here, P paragraph, there is no ID is para1. So this style, whatever is been set over here, will not get reflected at this particular P. Are you getting? So your output will be something of this kind. So this parts get displayed onto your browser. P ID is para1, hello world. So hello world ko kya styles apply hoga since it is para1. What is para1 styles? It should be center aligned. It should be red in color. This is center aligned of your web page and it is red in color. And यहाँ पे para1 नहीं है, it is a normal P tag. So इसका जो predefined meaning है, that gets displayed. So this is a predefined meaning of the P tag. So this paragraph is not affected by the styles that you have applied. Are you getting? Yes, those who are not aware about CSS, did you understand a little? Kindly reply so that I know I am there, otherwise I am
Yes,
disconnected.
yes, sir.
Yes, perfect. Okay, now do one thing. Somebody just write down this and write it onto your notepad and save the file using .html and open it onto your browser and try to share the screen. Okay, somebody start doing it and share the screen from your side so that I know you all are doing it. Normal apna HTML file या फिर any HTML file that you have, you just write one styles. Okay, so we are done with this example. ID is one selector. So whichever paragraph, whichever tag you specify the ID, the respective styles will be applied on that particular tag. So ID denoted as hash. Remember hash, okay? So hash specifies the ID. Then we have class selector. Similar to ID, there is one more attribute class, one more class selector. So class selector selects elements with a specific class attribute. So ID is one attribute. Similarly, we have one more attribute as class. So if you specify class equals to, and you say when you're trying to call out that class, the styles will get reflected. We will see one example. To select elements with a specific class, you write a dot. Class is denoted using dot. ID is denoted using hash. Remember. For example,
Ma'am,
yeah, who's
your
that?
screen is not visible yet.
My screen is not visible. Okay.
Yes, now it is visible.
Visible ना? Okay. Screen not visible तो मेरा BP थोड़ा बढ़ता है. Okay. So we were talking about class. So जैसे ID है, ID represented using hash, class represent using dot. ठीक है? Now we have over here they have defined classes. They are saying paragraph using a class selector now. So we're making use of dot. Okay. So p dot write, class name जिसका write है, apply this particular styles. क्या style apply करना है उसको? Align, text align is right, color should be red, font style should be italic. And the class जिसका value होगा blue, paragraph जिसके class में value होगा blue, specify styles as text align should be center, color should be blue. Okay, so this is how you write the code. So for paragraph, the attribute class is right. So when class is right, this particular features will get highlighted. Okay, and when class is blue, this particular styles will get applied. Are you getting the difference? We will see one example. Okay. Okay. Over here, they have given style. For paragraph, it is font family, font size and so on. H1 के लिए उन्होंने styles दिए हैं, H2 के लिए दिए हैं, class दिया है. अभी class selector है dot bold red, dot green and dot tiny. So wherever you get this names for class attribute, this particular styles will get applied. ठीक है? So over here H1 class is bold red. So when it is bold red, this particular style will get applied. So let me check whether I have an example for this. Yeah. So this is one example. So what is it saying? For class is center and apply this particular styles. So I have class center is this and center is this. So this should be your output. Anybody can try out and share your screen. When you want to share, let me know. I'll stop sharing. You can take down this code, try it at your side. Same अभी same एक ही file पे run करो ना. Same file, make dot center, text align is center and red, and use it in some tags. Create your, you have so many tags, take any tag and apply. You make a change in. Ajit, you can share your screen. Yes. Perfect. Show the code. Yeah. So you have written, क्या लिखा है आपने? Style paragraph dot para, font size दिया है, text align दिया है, background color बोला है and color. Okay. And para 1 के लिए you have set different styles. Okay. For bold you have set some style, and for red. So name of the classes are given. Para is one class, para 1, bold and red. Okay. Now for p tag, class is para. Perfect. Data is welcome. So para के जो styles है will get applied onto welcome. Para के styles क्या है? Font size is 100, text align is center, background color is black, and the color onto this text is white. Yeah. P class is para 1 and bold red. So making use of two styles. Para 1 का क्या है? Font size 50, text align center, and bold का क्या है? Weight, bold. So it both the styles will be applied onto CSS testing. Perfect. And red वाला कहीं पे apply नहीं किया, यहाँ पे red वाला भी लिख दो. अच्छा. Okay. So all three in one. Okay, very good. And yes, so this is your output. Yes, when you're specifying those points na, बोले तो 100 px or pt, do not leave space in between. Okay, 100 space pt ऐसा मत करो, 100 pt px. Okay, no leaving space. Okay, remember that. Yes, perfect. So what Ajit has done is for class para 1 bold and red for CSS testing, he has applied 3 styles in one particular tag itself. Very good. Thank you so much. So you got the difference. So how we are trying to HTML tags, but you are giving your own styles. Okay. So this is the use of CSS. Similarly, you can apply it on various other things. So this was just the introduction part. Now you have ways of calling the CSS file. You have 3 types. We have internal, we have external, and we have inline. Okay. Yes. So more than one class, you can refer more than one class. So Ajit has shown us one example with referring more than one class. So fine. Now CSS comments slash asterisk. So that should be commenting multiple lines. Okay. Now 3 ways, as I was telling you: inline, external, and internal. So this is how you can call your CSS files. When you store it externally, I can create a CSS file wherein जो styles आपने अभी इसके अंदर ही लिखा था, I will store it in separate text file, CSS file. That text file को I will save it using dot extension CSS. For example, अगर मैंने ये सारे styles मेरे एक text notepad open किया, सारे styles वहां पे लिख दिए, and I will save that file as abc.css. Now in my main HTML file, I have to call that CSS file to get all the styles applied. Okay, so we will see that is external. So we'll see the syntax. Inline is within the paragraph itself, sorry, within the tag itself, you have to specify your style. That is inline. Internal, जो अभी तक examples अपन ने देखे वो internal था. Internal declaration of CSS. And then external. So जो CSS declaration internal किया उसको उठा के दूसरे एक external file में डाल दो. Save that file using .css and then call that file. So we will see. So inline style sheet placed inside the tag itself, specific to a single instance of an HTML tag, must be used instead of font tags. Okay, and used to override an external or embedded. Now highest priority. For example, in one program, you have set an external CSS, you have an internal CSS, and you have an inline CSS defined for a particular tag. For example, मैंने पैराग्राफ टैग को कुछ स्टाइल्स डिसाइड किए हैं. मैंने बोला है कि एक्सटर्नल में मैंने बोला है कि पैराग्राफ शुड बी ऑफ रेड कलर. फिर मैंने मेरे सेम फाइल में इंटरनल में वापस पैराग्राफ डिफाइन किया है और बोला है कि पैराग्राफ शुड बी ब्लू कलर. एंड फिर मैंने इनलाइन स्टाइल में भी पैराग्राफ दिया है और बोला है कि पैराग्राफ शुड बी ग्रीन कलर. एक्सटर्नल क्या बोलता है? रेड कलर. इंटरनल क्या बोलता है? ब्लू कलर. इनलाइन क्या बोलता है? ग्रीन कलर. So inline will have the highest priority and green color will get displayed onto your web page. Okay, so local, that is inline style sheet, is used to override an external or embedded style specification. Okay, so अगर मैंने एक external बोला है, एक internal बोला है और एक inline बोला है, inline gets the highest priority for a particular tag. Okay. So this is how you declare your inline. So within the code itself, inside the body section, मैंने paragraph tag बोला है और style मैंने उधर के उधर ही दिया. Style is font size equals to 10, color should be red, font weight should be bold, font family should be Arial, Helvetica, and sans serif. ठीक है, तो ये मैंने पैराग्राफ को बोला है मुझे पैराग्राफ इस पर्टिकुलर स्टाइल में डिस्प्ले होना चाहिए. And my text, and close the paragraph. So this is the output that you get. Okay, this is how your paragraph gets displayed. This is inline within the body. So you have your regular HTML structure, body section में paragraph, you write some paragraph and you specify the style and it gets displayed. Okay, then that is inline. Now embedded is internal. So अभी तक जो अपन ने examples दिखे वो internal वाले ही थे. So styles can be defined with style tag. You had opened the style tag, which is placed in the header section of the HTML file. So we have HTML head title, ना? तो head के अंदर style डालो, specify your styles, and then in your body section you reflect those tags. Okay. So this is your internal. जो अभी तक अपन ने example किए वो इंटरनल, ठीक है. सो दिस इज वन. सो हेड के अंदर स्टाइल, माय बॉडी शुड बी, बैकग्राउंड कलर शुड बी लिनन, and h1 tag should have these features. And then my h1 and paragraph tag. Now paragraph tag is your regular because उसको कुछ define नहीं किया है. h1 को मैंने styles define किए हैं and मैंने body tag को style define किया है. Body tag को बोला है background color should be of linen and so on. Okay. You want, you can also set style for p. You can specify inline style अगर चाहिए तो. Specify some inline style and you write your styles. ठीक है. And that will get applied onto your web page. ठीक है. That is internal. Inline हो गया, internal हो गया, अभी external. External मैंने क्या बोला, यही जो है ना आपके styles, ये जो आपने बोला है, इसको उठा के नोटपैड में लिख दो, separate notepad. Save that using .css extension. For example, इसको मैंने कॉपी किया यहाँ से और नोटपैड में लिखा दूसरे एक नोटपैड फाइल में, and I saved it as .abc.css फाइल. So मेरा कोड एक HTML फाइल में है और मेरा CSS दूसरे फाइल में है. ठीक है. अभी एक कोड को मुझे HTML फाइल में बुलाना है. How to do that? So we make use of this. We make use of this link rel. Link rel, that is relative equals to style sheet. It is telling it is a style sheet. href and name of your CSS file. फाइल का नाम क्या दिया आपने? abc.css. Right. So you write abc.css and type क्या है उस फाइल का? It is a text file, but it is a CSS file. So you write text/css. Written in notepad ना? So it is a text file and उसका extension क्या है? CSS. So it is text/css. ठीक है. And आपका फाइल नेम क्या था? अभी यहाँ पे external है. आपका नाम क्या था? abc.css. And what are the styles applied? These are the styles that you have applied. This is how you call. ठीक है. So same HTML code. Now this I can just write it over here. अभी इसको this part I will write it in this section, and I will just run my file and see the output. Fine. So inline overrides internal, as we know, highest priority. Internal overrides external. So inline has the highest priority. तो अगर पैराग्राफ टैग को मैंने एक्सटर्नल बोला है रेड, इंटरनल बोला है ब्लू, इनलाइन बोला है ग्रीन, तो डिस्प्ले में ग्रीन आएगा. अगर दो ही कंडीशंस है, एक्सटर्नल और इंटरनल, तो जो इंटरनल बोला है ना, दैट विल गेट अप्लाइड. ओके. एक्सटर्नल विल हैव द लोएस्ट प्रायोरिटी. ठीक है. Okay, these are some examples given. Separated using semicolon and multiple selectors. If I want to give this same color to all these tags, then you specify using comma. Separate the selectors using comma. So you can have multiple selectors at a time. पैराग्राफ को भी सेम अप्लाई करना है, h1 को भी सेम अप्लाई करना है, एंड किसी और इमेज टैग को भी सेम अप्लाई करना है, तो दिस comma. Okay. Or you can also separate using a space. Comma दो या space दो, anything should work. Okay. So anybody could just share the screen using all the three styles. एक simple program ले लो, all the three styles apply करो, तब तक I'll take attendance and we can see the output. Okay. So you can try it at your. Yeah, anybody share your screen. Anybody going to share? Yes या no, कुछ तो बोलो. Okay, you can run that program and we will see it next time. Okay, so we can leave now. We will meet at 4 o'clock. Fine. So we shall stop now.